Is the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev the rising star of the UFC, heading towards greatness or disaster? Let's uncover the surprising truth behind his unstoppable rise and the controversies that could bring it all crashing down. Forget the rankings, forget the weight classes. In the UFC, there's action. Are you willing to bleed for glory? Some are born into greatness, others forge it through struggle. Khamzat Chimaev wasn't born with a silver spoon, he was raised to be a fighter. They say he saw Conor McGregor shock the world at UFC 194, a nobody dethroning the legendary Aldo. In that moment, a fire ignited within him. If they can do it, he thought, then so can I. Obsessed with proving himself, he arrived like a blizzard, a whirlwind of relentless pressure and devastating finishes. They called him Boz, the wolf from Chechnya. But the hunger for dominance came at a cost. Missed weight cuts, public controversies, a connection to a powerful yet polarizing figure. Was Khamzat Chimaev destined to be a champion or a cautionary tale? This is the story of Khamzat Chimaev, a story of explosive potential, unwavering will, and the fight of his life, not just inside the octagon, but for his future. Khamzat Chimaev wasn't sculpted in a gym, he wasn't molded by privilege. He was forged in the fires of war-torn Chechnya. Born in 1994, his childhood wasn't filled with playgrounds and birthday parties. It was a constant struggle for survival. But within the chaos, a warrior spirit emerged. Wrestling, a tradition as old as the Chechen hills, became his sanctuary. By the age of 5, Chimaev was already grappling on the mats, overcoming his size disadvantage with sheer determination. He thrived on competition and took on older, bigger boys without losing. In 2011, seeking a brighter future, Chimaev and his family migrated to Sweden. Here he dominated national championships, and no one could deny his raw talent. To date, he has a freestyle wrestling record of 24-0 and an amateur record of 3-0. Chimaev doesn't know what it means to lose, but something was missing. He craved the ultimate test, the crucible of combat, mixed martial arts. He started training at the All Stars Training Center in Stockholm, alongside legends like Alexander Gustafsson. His work ethic was legendary and his talent was immense. A storm was brewing and the UFC was about to feel its full force. The hunger for competition burned brightly within Chimaev. In 2018, he turned professional on the regional scene and the MMA world took notice. He compiled a perfect record of 9-0, racking up wins across various promotions, from Brave CF to FCR3 to IRFA. His dominance was swift and brutal. By 2020, whispers of a Chechen wrecking machine had echoed through the fight world. The UFC, the pinnacle of MMA, reached out. Chimaev was ready. July 2020, UFC Fight Night 172, Chimaev stepped into the octagon for the first time, virtually unknown. But within minutes, the world was screaming. Later, defying all expectations, Chimaev returned to the octagon. This time, Reese McKee felt the wrath of Boz. A first-round TKO cemented his arrival. He shattered the record for the fastest consecutive UFC wins. Who goes head-on into a second UFC fight 10 days after their debut? Chimaev does. Fight number 3 was against Gerald Meerschaert, a seasoned veteran. 17 seconds. That was all it took for Chimaev to silence the doubters with a thunderous knockout. The UFC had a new star, and his name was Khamzat Chimaev. Before anyone could blink, Chimaev had submitted Li Jingliang and Kevin Holland to add 2 more impressive finishes to his resume. A grueling battle against Gilbert Burns went the distance, marking his first time going the distance in the UFC, but maintaining his undefeated record. Most recently in 2023, he challenged Kamaru Usman, the seemingly unbeatable welterweight champion, in a highly anticipated matchup. In a close fight, Chimaev emerged victorious by a narrow majority decision, marking one of only 4 losses in Usman's entire career. Khamzat Chimaev wasn't just a fighter, he was a phenomenon. Inside the octagon, he was a force of nature, but outside he had a captivating personality. Unlike many fighters who shy away from the spotlight, Chimaev craved it. His interviews were raw, unfiltered, and entertaining. Chimaev's statements flowed freely. If he wasn't training, he was calling out the top contenders. He embodied the warrior spirit that craved constant battle. His catchphrase, "I will smash everybody," became a rallying cry for his fans. Chimaev backed it up with action. He was the anytime, anywhere fighter. Fans loved his willingness to take on all challengers. His social media presence was a breath of fresh air, direct, often humorous, and a constant window into his life. Chimaev's charisma, confidence, and fighting spirit propelled him to stardom. He didn't just win fights, he won hearts. He captivated the UFC audience and earned a reputation for thrilling fights and untapped talent. Khamzat Chimaev's rise to the top wasn't without its bumps. The fighter who captivated audiences also courted controversy. His confidence, a source of his charisma, sometimes tipped into arrogance. His trash talk, while exciting for some, rubbed others the wrong way. Calling out opponents with aggression could be seen as disrespectful, creating tension with other fighters and fans. But the biggest challenge to Chimaev's rise to stardom wasn't another fighter, it was the scale itself. Making weight for fights is a crucial part of the sport, and Chimaev has sometimes struggled with it. A particularly egregious case came in UFC 279. Scheduled to face Nate Diaz, Chimaev came in 7.5 pounds overweight. It was even more contentious as he showed no remorse and even posted a meme about it on Twitter. That same week, he engaged in a heated exchange with Paulo Costa at the UFC Performance Institute. The following day, right before the UFC 279 news conference, Chimaev found himself in another scuffle with Kevin Holland, leading to the conference's cancellation. The fight was scrapped and he faced Kevin Holland instead, whom he easily defeated. But fans kept asking questions. Was Chimaev's dedication to his craft waning? Were his priorities shifting? Chimaev's skills in the octagon are as talked about as his controversial bond with Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of the Chechen Republic. This connection is more than just a minor detail in Chimaev's career, it's a storyline that has sparked debates far and wide. In 2020, Kadyrov gifted Chimaev a luxurious Mercedes-Benz, cementing their relationship. A few months later, Chimaev crashed the car. If you'd like a full in-depth story on the relationship between Khamzat and Kadyrov, comment full story in the comment section, and we'll make a follow-up video on this peculiar relationship. In December 2020, Chimaev faced a formidable opponent, his own health. After battling COVID-19, he considered retirement, but Kadyrov persuaded him back into the fighting cage. Chimaev was also seen mentoring Kadyrov's teenage sons, accompanying them to UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. The controversy peaked when Chimaev appeared in a livestream with Kadyrov, who threatened a minor criticizing his rule. Chimaev's affiliation gives legitimacy to a government known for repressive actions. These weigh-ins and controversial incidents have made some question Chimaev's discipline and whether his confidence might be his downfall. Dana White, the UFC president, finds himself in a tight spot. He wants Chimaev, undoubtedly one of the best fighters the UFC has seen. But when your unpredictability becomes a gamble, being a global talent might not be enough.
What's up, everybody? So, a little news here. Unfortunately, Khamzat Chimaev is out of the fight next weekend in Saudi Arabia. Violently, and I mean violently ill. So he's going back home, and hopefully he gets well soon. Khamzat, get well soon, my friend.
Being in the limelight can be cruel. For Khamzat Chimaev, the pressure of expectation and his past deeds cast doubt on him. One thing no one can question, however, is his undefeated record. There's one thing no one can deny. Khamzat Chimaev is a special talent. His raw power, relentless pressure, and undeniable charisma are a lethal mix for success in the UFC. Will he learn from his mistakes and give us the best display of his full potential? Will he become the disciplined champion many believe he can be? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Khamzat Chimaev is a name that will continue to echo through the fighting world for years to come. For more exclusive content on Chimaev and other UFC stars, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And there you have it. The story of Khamzat Chimaev is far from over. Will he rise to greatness or will his demons pull him down? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the world will be watching every step of the way.